Hi, I'm Mike. Welcome to the best of Homes on Homes. When I say superstructures, you may think go big or go home. But the houses I call superstructures aren't necessarily big in size. A small attic renovation and a $200,000 two-story addition are equally dangerous if the structure fails. Today, you'll see how we build superstructures to withstand everything from old age and gravity to Mother Nature's worst natural disasters.
Nice.
Awesome. Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Yeah, baby. If you're going to do it right the first time.
My hero.
It's perfect. On the money.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever.
Building a second-story addition on a house is challenging, and it takes a lot of time. But like anything in life, start with a strong foundation and work your way up.
I moved into that little house on my own with my mom. It was 1 bathroom and 3 bedrooms, a small kitchen, a small living dining room. It was nice, though. We'd finished it up. I'd painted, done my fancy paint job in the living room with the sponging. In 1997, Joe and I got married. When Joe moved in, it was still quite comfortable. When we had Juliana, we started to think about more space.
Christina and Joe hired the husband of Christina's best friend to build a 2,000 square foot addition on a $200K budget.
And initially, I thought things were going pretty good. He digging out the garage, and then he had a crew in to do the foundation.
The 200 grand got spent. The job wasn't even close to being done, and they were out of the house since the job started. Then the contractor put a lien on the property.
And the courier hands me this document, and I open it up, and it's the lien, and it says, you're being sued for $543,000. I wasn't sleeping much, and so I thought, I'm gonna write to Homes on Homes.
Yeah.
As soon as I walked in, I knew I was in big trouble, inside and out. Everywhere I looked, it was a disaster waiting to happen. It was just a matter of time. No footings whatsoever, sitting right on the cinder block. Totally unacceptable. I don't see any footings down there. It's not even deep enough. It's not even 4 feet deep. Once again, holding weight load all the way up. The stone is cracking, the mortar's cracking, the brick is cracking. You call this a footing? All he did was pour a small concrete pad here. Unacceptable. 1, wood is touching concrete. 2, there's not enough in there, right? We don't see anything in there. It's sitting just on a little bit. And I could move the floor. That's not a good sign. I don't know how they got away with this, because this was passed. That upsets me. Structurally, this place was a mess, and I knew it. We hired an engineer to take a look, and he found even more problems.
I don't know what they've done with this bench, because I almost need X-ray eyes to see what they've done.
Look at the stairs. Obviously, these are all different heights and not the proper set of stairs.
They've actually supported the plate and not the beam. That should really be looked at.
He asked us to open up the walls, and we did. We found stuff missing, important stuff, like footings, structure. Where do I see screws? Do you see any screws? Any screws whatsoever in that drywall? Any screws? 1 screw. Come on. Whoever the electrician was puts out a box on the outside wall and puts up vapor barrier. What don't we see? Vapor barrier. Do you see any insulation?
Well, these are 8-footer.
Do you see any vapor barriers?
This angle here, see how I'm picking up?
I wouldn't stand there.
Yeah, it's actually supported by this brace here.
You've got to be kidding me. This addition could be the model home for teaching how to do everything wrong when building a house. We pull drywall down, what do we see? Cinder block wall, cut in, put a door in, nothing supporting the block above it. How high does this go up? Probably enough weight load to simply snap this and take someone's head off. I knew it would have to come down. In fact, the house was going to fall down sooner or later. So why not take it down before the family moves back in? Say goodbye to this place.
Hallelujah.
I watched 3 Little Pigs when I was a kid, and to build a superstructure, it's not gonna burn and it definitely will not mold. I wanted to build an environmentally friendly house to incorporate the most up-to-date technology. And if I'm gonna build, it's gonna be the smartest house on the block. What I didn't expect was to see 15 months go by before we could even break ground. Looks like a building, doesn't it? Sure it does. Look at the rebar. We can see that the steel beam will go right through the center across here, holding the precast flooring, which is the next move. Instant floor. The floor consisted of 16 pieces of custom core slab. That's what I call concrete. And we spent 2 months pouring the second floor wall. And finally, after 24 months, we could haul in the steel for the roof. It is such a huge project. You got to think of all the engineers, all the architects, all the building inspections. It's a prototype, and to build a prototype is going to be a lot of money, a lot of time. More than I want, yes. But we've got drawings galore. Look at these papers that just came in, and this is all for the steel. All the steel structure that's going across the top. This is not architectural for the framing or the house itself, just steel. Effort, huge. Thoughts? Mega. I mean, look at this. This is these custom beams that I talk about that come right over the house. Look at the size of these guys. These are the giant wood beams that we used over the dining room structure.
Basically, the blue lamps are being hung off of the steel structure. And so we've got 3 different beams. One goes down to the front in the middle portion here. We have another one that comes and curves down and it sits on the back concrete down at the bottom over there.
These beams were structurally engineered using strips of wood and a huge amount of compression ratio. They're used when you want to see the beauty of the wood inside and out, and when you want a great curve like we have here. After a ton of work went into building this superstructure, the payoff came for me when we gave the house back to Katrina and Joe. After you.
Oh my gosh.
Give them the house back.
Wow.
It's ours again.
It doesn't look like our house, that's for sure. You sure this is the right house? Wow.
So far, so good, eh?
No.
This is the part that I really love.
Oh my God. Look at how high this ceiling is.
Definitely designed for the windows to give all the light we can get, but not too much.
Oh, look at this counter.
It's a quartz counter,
Oh
totally
my
blended
God.
in.
It's absolutely stunning.
From start to finish, this project took over 2.5 years, so it earned the title of superstructure in every single way. Another criteria for superstructure is to have it built strong enough to withstand the forces of Mother Nature. A house the 3 little pigs would envy. That's not a nail. That's a mega bolt, right? How many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. 8 on the other side. Welcome back to the Best of Homes on Homes. Today, we're looking at a whole range of what I call superstructures. Houses built to be extraordinary, whether in size, strength, or design. I was called in to look at a project in Pasadena, California, in the heart of earthquake country. When I first heard about the 2 family, I knew they were in big trouble. Their contractor had walked off the job site, and that job was far from done. I know for a fact there's no way that these people are getting out of this one financially, emotionally. Like, this is what tears families apart.
They were working very hard. Progress was being made. It seemed to be going very well. Turns out that it wasn't.
It was a simple plan. Restructure their small, dark bungalow and create the house of their dreams.
I think we just wanted it to go well so badly, and it seemed to be going so well.
It's not done, obviously. I'm here. What happened here? How much money is he taking from you?
$206,000.
There were so many reasons for me to say no. They're on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. The house was on a small hill, on a narrow road. But I'm a sucker for a family in need, and I said yes. Just take it easy. Don't worry, just keep smiling, okay? My first challenge was to find a reliable crew that had connections to other trades. It needed to be a crew that could carry the workload when I wasn't there. James.
Mike.
Chico.
Pleasure to meet you, Mike.
pleasure
There's a lot
to
of good
meet
things
you.
about you.
Chico? I met a contractor named James. Chico. They step up to the plate.
It became easy once you knew the family. Once you met them and saw the situation they were in, it became easy to want to help.
We found the crew, we got the engineer's stamp, we had everything we needed, so we hit the ground running. After we had all the framing done, the next job was to install a 26-foot-long Paralam beam by hand.
Okay, down.
Normally for a beam that size and weight, I'd bring in a crane and lift it into place, but the roads were so narrow, I couldn't get the crane in. That beam was about 1,000 pounds.
1, 2, 3. Come on. I got it. Okay, just balance it. Everybody take a breath. 3. Go. 1, 2, go. Once we guys get it up, let's say it's too heavy. I want to be able to nail a 2x4 with the gun so it'll hold it up. Nailed it. Nail it. Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Come on, a little more, guys. A little more. 1, 2, 3, go. Down. Down, 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 down. Got it. Yeah!
You know, it's looking really good. The hardest part, obviously, is the front of the house here, having to fix all the structure, get it going, and get it up to tie into the old. Once this is done, it's gonna fly. You know, here we go, boom, electrical is in. Get the insulation done, get it all passed, and drywall it. That beam was just the spine of the house. The whole structure had to be built to withstand an earthquake. So that meant using special fasteners, tie-downs, steel frames, and hangers. Down here in California, they're very seismic. This is all these tie anchors, all the hold-down anchors. The idea really is if there's an earthquake, and you know how an earthquake works, everything shakes. It's not like it goes up and down. It does one of these. To tie everything together, anchor it down, the whole hope is no walls fall down and kill anyone. That's what we're trying to accomplish here, to save lives. Overkill, extreme. But when it comes to the homes, how many times have you heard me say it? Overkill, there's no such thing.
I've never seen this stuff before. This hardy wall, is that what you call it?
It's a hardy frame. Basically, the reason they have this is when they have a wall with a lot of openings, they can't get their shear value to, enough shear.
Right.
So this accommodates that without all the plywood. You know, if there's a lot of openings, they can't get enough plywood on there, so they accommodate with this. It gets bolted all the way through our engineered lumber below.
Wow,
that's
which
carrying
is
the
how
load
thick?
of the wall. This one is a 6x14, I believe.
So you're going through 14 inches below the deck here.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
This is a hold down, it goes horizontally. Typically, they're in the concrete, tying the wood framing members to the concrete. Before they pour the concrete, there's an anchor bolt going in there with the rebar going over it. So the anchor bolt can't give either way. The all thread comes through, and now it's tied all this together into one unit. There's above each doorway, we have that going on. And then also these are in the concrete to tie the concrete to the joist members. This is the place to be. This house is the place to be if there's an earthquake.
We are talking one big job. 6 months, lots of work, lots of people, probably in the area of 100 different men in that house. I wonder why I keep doing this. You know, I really do. Why am I here? You know, I'm flying back and forth, I'm working back home, I'm coming here. And then you bring them home. After you.
Oh my God.
Welcome home.
Oh, my. Oh, wow.
This is something.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's just, it's...
This is something.
It's changed a little bit, eh?
Oh, my gosh.
Now, you remember the layout that was here.
Yeah, it's totally different.
You got your new stove,
Wow.
Beautiful.
fridge, dishwasher,
Beautiful.
all your wonderful cabinets.
Good things happen. Bad thing is just a test. And the test will either make it or break you. And we made it.
Yeah.
Through 6 months of a relationship, through doing this job and meeting a bunch of wonderful people, the two family really showed who they were. Nice, average, beautiful people. Why not help them?
Sir, I can't cross the threshold without it.
Home's sweet home.
Huh?
Imagine that on a show about superstructures, we could highlight a job about a small attic. This is about the biggest, smallest addition I've ever done in my life. It is so extreme on what I have to do here. I'm stunned by this. Welcome back to the Best of Homes on Homes. We've assembled what I call superstructures, unique builds or renovations that are supersized in one way or another. While I was working on a structure built to withstand an earthquake in Pasadena, California, I was flying back east to work on a much smaller renovation. But what started as a small job turned into a super complicated structure.
We love our neighborhood, and we love our neighbors, and we love our house.
Because we've been here about 6 years now? 7. 5, sorry, 5.
Julie and Joe, really nice, good people. They didn't ask for the moon, they had a simple request. Nice to see you again. Joe?
Nice to see you.
They need another room. They have a new baby. Contractor suggests, let's renovate the attic.
We just wanted to look nice. Our expectations, even with the contractor, weren't that we just wanted a room, a nice, structurally sound room, something that's not going to be the danger of anybody or fear of falling or, you know, that's going to ruin our house.
We want it done right.
Yeah.
I knew what I didn't want to see, and I saw it. Holy crap. Oh, okay, they have 2x8s coming up from the outside wall right up to the top peak.
Many times I asked them about the actual structure of the roof. There was trusses going all across inside, and they cut every single one of those out.
Trusses span the width of the house, and they're designed to hold the structure of the roof. You don't cut trusses. You never cut trusses. How much did this cost you?
We paid them $22,000. However, it was supposed to be $26,750. I called them up again in tears, just saying, you know what, I can't do this. I'm at home, I'm stressed out, I'm supposed to be enjoying my time off, and I'm not. This was supposed to be done in a month. A month was their time limit.
Basically, he told us, no permit, no timeline.
I'm gonna come in through the roof. I'm gonna cut the roof right out. I'm gonna take everything out of here that should not be here.
Wow.
And I'm gonna put in a proper addition. We do see bolts put in their 2x8s. On top, laminating to the rafters directly, I'm hoping right up to the top. They cut all the rafters to build a knee wall across, and they didn't come up underneath it. Why the hell did they do that? I'm gonna do a cut here, someone's gonna hold this. I'll do a cut here, someone's gonna hold that. We'll take that beam down, throw it down, cut that, pick it up, got it? Gotcha. His job was now enormous. And why? No permits. Permits help ensure the structural integrity. Now, in order to keep that open concept downstairs, we need some kind of support to carry the load. And to do that, we use engineered lumber, which is much stronger and can span greater lengths than standard framing. Look at the size of these babies right here. I don't even want to know what that weighs.
Damon, could you just grab that end and I'll grab this end?
Take the whole thing, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
1,
2, 10, go.
Dad. Oh, okay, my finger.
Oh, jeez. It's not like we could just hand up a 750-pound beam that easy. I gotta bring in a 65-ton crane that sits on the street to boom these huge beams up and over the house and place it where I cut the roof open, that box that I opened up.
You're gonna love this.
Good right there, and you can start lowering.
Perfect. Tell them we got about over 4 feet left.
Got just over 4 feet left. And 4 feet down. Slowly, 2 feet. Just over a foot, Adam. He's doing good. We're all right on the mark. 6 inches, slowly. Here we go. Stop. You gotta stop.
It's good. It's good. Once the beams and joists were lifted to the roof, we secured them in place, then closed the house back in. Pass it to Mike. Man, it's a lot of work to get to where we're at right now. Never mind get the roof on this thing. At one point, I had to fly back to Pasadena, and I told the crew not to work on the roof. I told them to work downstairs, leave the roof until I got back, tarp it up, and leave it. I'll see you.
See you, brother. This should be done, man. No worries.
Honestly, I love my people because they wanted to surprise me. They wanted to do me a favor, lighten my workload, and keep working on that roof line, even though I told them not to.
Today we're going to get in our roof joists. So that's what we're going to start working on today. We're going to center this beam. This beam is basically sitting up here. We want to center it right in place where it's going to go. and we'll just keep going. Our object here is to get this sheeted before Mike gets back. I would love to give him a reveal, take some stress off the guy. He's down in LA working his ass off right now.
Now, this timber strand had been custom sized for this house, this job, this roof. Full lengths. You can't just go grab this stuff from your local store.
We have all our rafters cut. We predetermined everything. We have about 30 of them cut. It's good enough for this side. Mike wants to do everything 12-inch on center. It's really overstructured, which is great. It's gonna take massive amounts of weight. So we're gonna start right here, work our way back.
We're just getting the 412 pitch done. Spacing at 12 inches on center.
I am extremely nervous. You know, we went ahead and sort of defied orders and have got the project running without him here. So I haven't slept in about a week since he left. I know I was really nervous about going ahead.
As soon as I pulled up to the job site, I saw the roof, and I knew there was a problem. Good morning.
Hey, buddy.
Let's see, we have a roof. What could I say? They were so proud and nervous. I mean, waiting to be congratulated. And they were really tired, too.
First of all, may I say, obviously you've worked hard. Can we get the plans, please?
Yes, we sure can, Mike.
I know I didn't give them the reaction they wanted. Well, yeah, I was surprised, but so were they, because it was wrong. It was a huge mistake.
We're a little lower, right?
We're a lot lower. What is the pitch on this roof, people?
It's a 412.
What is this?
This is a 412.
No, it's not.
My guys cut the rafters to what they thought was a 412 pitch. Pitch is the measure of the slope in a roof. One look from the outside is all I needed to know the pitch was wrong. At that point, all I could do was thank them for trying to step up, save me time and work by getting this done. But there was a reason I didn't want the guys to go it alone. So it became a chance for me to teach them to do it right.
We have to redo the whole roof. We have to raise the ridge beam up approximately 3 feet.
What? Unfortunately, not one of those rafters I could reuse, so I had to reorder. We're talking about a loss here of $10,000 to $15,000.
As soon as I drove by,
Yes.
I saw a surprise.
Yes.
I saw that the peak was lower than the front.
Right.
And right away, I knew there was a problem. And I knew what you guys were doing. You're trying to save the day.
Yes.
Mike's been gone working in LA. Great learning lesson.
Yeah.
I've always said if it was easy, everyone would do it. But learning from your mistakes is how you get better. Experience, priceless.
You know what? Don't beat yourself up. You tried. What the hell? You know, it's just not a huge deal. It's really not. And it's just another day or two in work.
Right.
But this is how we learn.
The roof had to go. It was a tough lesson for the guys, but they'll never make that mistake again. Guaranteed.
We just say, hey, we learned from this. Let's order another lift. Let's...
Have any extra wood up here because I need to make a doghouse. So if we have any extra wood, we can make a nice doghouse.
It took a fire and a host of other problems to turn an old structure into a superstructure.
Cut it here, take this down, take this wall down, take the new studded 2x4 wall down. The middle wall must stay at this point till we've decided on how we're gonna restructure.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. We're showing superstructures of every kind, from mega projects to simple logistical challenges. This next superstructure rose from the ashes of a fire of an 80-year-old home. The goal was to rebuild the house so the homeowners could rebuild their lives.
I was the only one home. I heard a noise, went upstairs, and I saw flames coming from underneath the door and got out.
Her friend called me and said that the house was on fire and that my daughter was okay.
Got my cat out, ran across the street, and got my neighbors, and they called 911.
Luckily, there was no one hurt, but there was a lot of damage. And of course, the insurance company is running the show now.
We were told that if we went with an insurance-approved contractor, that, you know, they would back us up 100%, that, you know, they would be the ones looking after the progress of the house. We felt more comfortable knowing that the insurance was going to be backing us up, so we went with this contractor, and then just things did not go well.
They've been out of the house 8 months now, and the contractor was not even close to being finished.
Is our power off to this house?
No. No.
Okay. We have knob and tube.
They said they were just going to drywall over it. It's not a problem.
Oh, it's a problem. So they're gonna use 1/4-inch fir board over top of all the wood and keep all the studs horizontal and you know, instead of this way to create somewhat structure.
I asked them, I said, doesn't it have to be brought up to code? Like what was once code back in like 19 whatever?
I'm curious what the answer was.
And they said, no, our responsibility is to put the house back exactly how it was. If you want anything extra, then that's a cost to you.
A house saturated with water, unoccupied for so long that raccoons and squirrels were living in it. Their waste was everywhere. The house was contaminated. We had to gut it. Of course, after opening it up, I see the structure is not secure, rotting pieces, broken pieces. It's just not safe. So now I had to shore up the structure of this whole house.
Once again, all electrical gets pulled. We can remove this wall right to here. Cut out the top plate at this point here. These two must stay. Everything else from this point on gets removed. Right from here, take it down. It's nice to see it when it's gutted, but we can look at it and see what we can do to make some changes.
With a house this age, nothing I find could surprise me, especially considering it was soaked by fire hoses. It's been unoccupied by people for almost a year, and an old house can sag. The footings that support the center of the house can settle. Simple as that.
These brick columns have been here since the house was built. Now, over the years, they've sunk down just slightly. And it's just, you can see it. It's probably an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. They're not going anywhere. These have now settled to the point where they're not gonna move. Why should I remove these and put in a steel column post when they're perfect? I'm gonna jack this up, I'm gonna cut out the nails in here, and I'm gonna pull this beam out. Then I'm gonna put in the new beam and drop the floor back on top of it. There we go, there's structure nice. Oh, yes. Tell me your level. Oh, your level. And we can see now that we're up off, okay? You can see how much we've lifted this area. That's a lot, eh?
Yeah, it is a lot.
Cut it right here. Okay. Get rid of this piece and then we'll shimmy it out. Gentle, everybody be gentle.
Can I go there?
There you go.
Okay, did you look for the crown? Did you look for the crown?
There we go. Okay.
We're gonna get a jack post, pick it up a bit, and then hammer it into place. If necessary, I'll lift it up more so we have the room to put it in. But we don't need a lot of room. I can see it from here. It's mainly this beam right here. Now that's what I want to see. We finished up the center beam in here, and we've created a pocket sleeve on top of that beam. So now the idea is we short up 2 temporary walls on each side so we can drop this beam.
Since the house was gutted, I wanted the main floor level, and I wanted to do it right. No Band-Aids, no shortcuts. My plan was to cut through the center of the floor, put in a huge beam, and bring the floor joist up flush with the beam.
Not bad, eh? It's like removing structure.
I'm good. 6 inches. You're good? Clear. I got to add 2 inches. An inch for the knot.
Oh, that's perfect. We have no upper structure on top of this. So we know we can easily put in a temporary wall there, a temporary wall there, cut out this beam, set it up in place, which we've done. We've measured off the 5 1/4 in thickness and the length that we can pick it up and drop it in place. And then simply, just as simple as it looks, pull up the floor and get in our hangers underneath. And you can see how much I raised this one area. As we continue, we'll move our way upstairs, leveling each and every floor. Right now, they look really good because if you remember downstairs, we had jacked up the house starting from the basement, which lifted the center all the way up to the roof line. So from where I'm standing, everything looks really nice and true here, as level as can be, true.
Of course, the floor would never be perfect. It's an 80-year-old house, and it's shifted and settled. So the best I can do is true up the floor, close to level.
1, 2, 3.
We're gonna pick up this probably 500-pound beam, 3 of us, 4 of us. We're gonna put one in on top of this ladder. We're gonna get the other in on top of the other ladder. Then we're slowly gonna get jack posts in there and carry it up. I don't like giving up on old houses. A new and improved structure was the perfect way to extend the lifespan of Franca and Daniela's home.
What? Whoa.
1, 2, go.
Good. Got it. Down? Okay, down.
Don't panic, we just gotta slide it an inch. Okay, that's it. Ready?
Yep. You're good. You happy with that?
Yes. Very.
A second-story deck might not be considered a superstructure, but it should be built just like one. If it's not, the worst that could happen just might.
Now, I'm told that a contractor came in, built a second-story deck, and you were on the deck and it fell.
And my 3 best friends.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. This episode is about what I call superstructures, where the science of carpentry meets the laws of physics. A solid structure for a house is essential, but no more essential than it is building a deck to extend from a second-story house. What I've been saying forever, good structure equals safety. Bad structure equals people getting hurt. Folks from the East Coast have a reputation for being good people. They're easygoing, fun, and may I add, very friendly.
St. John. Everything is siding, old houses, no primer, gotta love it.
Marlene is a classic example, bubbly and full of hugs. And this is a woman who had every right to be angry and resentful.
How you doing?
My hero.
Nice to meet you. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's go in your house.
Thank you.
Here's the story. Marlene and 3 of her best friends go out on her new deck to enjoy a glass of wine and to talk about the great view from 17 feet up. The last thing they expected was the deck to give way and crash to the ground.
I have no memory of the fall. I have no memory of the crash. I don't have any memory of the sound. So it dropped from this corner, and then I think one of the supports caught it, and it did a 180 flip over. Now, Sue, because she was the first one out there, and she had walked out, and she immediately just had her hands on the railing.
She comes off the deck and lands on the ground. The deck comes down on top of her.
I heard there was broken bones.
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds. Sue did fight for her life for quite a while. She was in intensive care. We were so lucky that the deck didn't hit any of our legs or arms. It's a miracle that we all can walk. I had 2 collapsed lungs and broken ribs, and subsequently found out that I had 17 other broken bones and fractures in my body. And there was the 4 of us when we finally, the first time the 4 of us got together, Sue was still in the hospital. She had spent 6 weeks in the hospital. The engineer's report said that the design of the deck is great. What was wrong is he used 5 leg bolts that were too short, and he pre-drilled the holes, and only one of them had hit a stud.
I got these.
When you want to build a deck off the side of your house, you have 2 choices. Support it from the outside or support it from the inside. From the inside is called cantilevered, and you have to cut into the house. You need 2 feet of wood braced into the house for every 1 foot sticking out. That's a cantilevered deck. The other choice is to do it the way I did and build the exterior framework from the ground up.
We're good on the depth.
We'll just bring her back. That's perfect. Rooting it in with 4 foot deep footings and then anchoring it into the house. One thing I know about this drill, it's an impact cordless, I love it, is that it's biting through. I pre-drilled about 4 inches in. I'm using an 8-inch lag. So as it goes in and I bite structure, you can feel it. And it's actually slowing this down and then torquing itself in. That 1 bolt is probably made this stronger than that other deck, period. Love it. gonna get up and on top of this one, good. This is just temporary, things I have to do to set the level of the other 6x6. Okay, go ahead, Petey. Okay, put it on top of the lift, please. I am square. You're in all the windows, you gotta be careful. They're watching. That is on the money. That deck was a superstructure. I know now, Marlene was terrified just thinking of going out on that deck again, and I can't blame her. She had a glass of wine before coming out this time. I think she needed it.
I've been waiting so long on my deck.
It's not massive.
No, it's perfect.
But it's private.
It's perfect.
It's private.
It's perfect.
And you know how strong this is? It'll hold everyone you can put on here. And I mean everyone.
Wow. I'm coming back. Thanks to you guys. I am coming back.
Helping one person who has survived the devastating event is pretty challenging. But when an entire neighborhood of houses is wiped out, where do you begin? What am I used to? I'm used to helping a family at a time that's been devastated by a contractor, a new home builder, and that's financial and emotional. One family. I come here, and we're talking everywhere. Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today we're looking at superstructures, whether it's attics, foundations, or a house designed to take on Mother Nature's best. When I met Gloria Guy, I heard her story. I knew I wanted to help build not just any home, but a structure that could withstand a hurricane. August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina slammed into New Orleans, Louisiana. A 15-foot storm surge caused over 600 feet of flood walls to collapse, basically destroying the lower 9th Ward. One of the people who lost everything was Gloria Guy.
The water was coming so fast. Houses was floating. My house floated. And when it floated, you ain't seen no more of my house. It went in the river, that was it.
I saw the devastation afterwards, the 6 weeks of chaos, of everything that happened, that people trapped in there. And I said, we gotta do something about this. We gotta help. It has been 7 days a week, go, to the point of loading all the crates, getting ready, making sure the documentation, the work visas, that's all done. We're going to New Orleans to build a house for a woman who lost everything. Ah, look at this is where we're working. We're set up, there's our bathroom, our trailers. This is the site we're gonna be building on. We met Gloria Guy 2.5 years after she lost her house, and she was still waiting. The foundation was supposed to be finished by the time we arrived, but it wasn't. So we had to start from scratch. This sure beats unloading it by hand. We're gonna be driving 35 28-foot poles deep into the ground. And the foundation will sit grid on top of them. First pole, 3-4 minutes. It took us 2 weeks just to do the foundation, tied right into the ground before I could start building anything. The idea was to build a house that would survive another hurricane, or that wouldn't wash away if the storm walls collapsed again. The guys are pulling out the forms. What do we see? Beautiful concrete. Remember, we want to be up above the water, high above the water. It's a 3-foot plane here, is the floodplain. We want to be above that. If that wall ever breaks again, we don't want this house to wash away. If the water were to come in, say the levee breaks, and and the water were to come in like it did before, it would literally wash underneath the house instead of pushing the house. If it's got something to push, it's gonna push it. It pushed the barge, it pushed the vehicles, it pushed everything, the trees. Yeah, it's gonna be tall, but it's gonna be good looking. What you have to do to a house to make it withstand the power of water is incredible. I actually bolted the top and bottom of the house together, and then I anchored it 28 feet into the ground. That's amazing.
Initially, the engineer wanted us to put in a hurricane clip between every vertical stud and the bottom plates. So Mike was talking to Chuck, our engineer, and together they came up with a plan to install threaded rods to run from the bottom of the beam all the way through the house to the top of the top plate on the second floor.
As crazy as it sounds, the footings, the raised height, the tie-down systems for the walls, that was really nothing compared to the roof line of that house. All those angles that had to be calculated for this funky roof, we had a whole lot of math going on. Okay, here we go. So this is the tallest point. We're 8'2" to this point, and up front, we're gonna be 6'5" continuous. So what we need to do is build the back wall, build the front wall, draw our string lines, get, I guess, 2 sections in with a couple in the centers holding it up verticals. And if we do this right, I think we can actually have it done by Wednesday.
Bang, bang.
Because of that wonky roof line, every single rafter had to be cut at a different length and at a different angle. It took us longer than I wanted. Running all the anchors and the hurricane ties on all the house. Get this, in anchors and ties and everything else, we've used over 6,000 nails. It took us a week to structure the roof. All of us, how many guys? There had to be 12 guys. 1 whole week to do a roof. Oh, that's beautiful, guys. Perfect plane line. It took us 10 weeks. No one thought we could do it, but we did. And we gave Gloria her home back on the 3rd anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Are you ready to see your house?
Yeah.
There's been a whole lot of people working real hard to break for this day.
I appreciate it.
And we made the anniversary, you notice that, eh?
Right.
What's today's date?
29th.
29th of August.
Right, when I lost the house.
When you lost the house 3 years ago.
Right.
All right, come on, let's go see it.
All right. I'm so happy, I don't know what to do. Everything I dream of, I'm telling you. And I thank God for making it happen for me. Best of all, it's Mike. He did a beautiful job.
Think so? How's your kid so far?
Oh, yeah. I love it. I thank God.
You know what? I always say, get what you get. Seriously. A lot can happen to a home. Earthquakes and hurricanes, age and gravity, even contractors who cut through roof trusses. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into these superstructures, but in the process, we gave people back homes that are safe and strong. That's what I call super. Damon, let's go.
Man, our tapes read differently.
Canadian tape, brother.
Canadian tape. If it rains, everyone keeps working.
Hi, doll. How you doing today?
All right.
Looking good, eh? Ready to move in?
For more information about this show, please visit hgtv.ca.